Welcome back. This is why you should not buy a property in Canada in 2025. As you know, I like to dissect both sides of the coin. In other videos, I show you why it's a great time, why we're entering a new cycle of growth in Canada. But I'm going to show you the other side of the coin and the risk we are exposed to, and why maybe you want to wait, and why it's not a good time. And it's mostly to do with Mr. Trump's tariff threat to Canada. I want to show you both stages of the Trump tariffs. I'm going to explain to you the ultimate threat of stagflation, which could happen if things get into its absolute worst in Canada. Stay tuned. I'm going to explain this to you in detail. Before we jump into the political side of this argument, I want to explain in more detail what stagflation really is, how severe it is, how can it affect our economy. So while we're examining this, you'll understand it more clearly and it'll make more sense. So what is stagflation? Essentially, it's persistent high inflation combined with high employment and stagnant demand in a country's economy. Sounds terrible. It's going to get worse. The term stagflation combines two familiar words, stagnant and inflation, refers to an economy characterized by high inflation, low economic growth, and high employment. The US, in fact, has only had one sustained period of stagflation in the 70s. Is stagflation worse than a recession? Yes. Stagflation is basically like a recession with the added headache of rising prices and rising costs to service debt. There is no cure. Okay, there is no cure. Actually, there is one cure. You fix your economy and have growth. And you can do that with good policy. Let's find out. What are the causes of stagflation? Stagflation is the combination of higher consumer price inflation, stagnant economic growth, usually accompanied by rising employment. It's caused by a supply side shock, such as sharply rising oil prices or sharply rising interest rates, or poor economic policy, such as too high government spending or too low interest rates. Okay? The way out of this is proper government spending, proper government policy, and a strong economy. Period. The end. So, regardless of Trump's tariffs, we need to get our economy straightened out. We need to get building real estate. We need to get manufacturing. We need to get rid of the silly DEI policies, get the government and red tape out of the way, and get back to good old Canadian doing stuff and getting it done. Right? Now, what are the tariffs? This good looking guy here is Mr. Howard Lutnick. He is Trump's nominee to be Commerce Secretary. He is the Commerce Secretary. He's going to be the one setting up and administering the tariffs. Okay? Now, in two stages. The first set of tariffs, 10%, is supposed to start on February 1. And the idea here is that that is a threat directly to Canada and Mexico to get their border under control. The US has increased security tremendously now that Trump's in office. But Canada and Mexico have not done enough, according to the Trump administration. So they want more security, more helicopters, more personnel, no more human trafficking at the border, no more drugs through the border, through Mexico and through Canada. Obviously, Mexico is a lot worse, but we need the northern border secured so these criminals have nowhere to go to hit the US. Okay? The second stage is where we really need to pay attention, and that starts April 1st. April 1st. Really, what this is about is Trump's policy is to make America great again. And one of the ways he wants to do that is by increasing production and manufacturing in America. You see, for decades, they've been exporting labor manufacturing to China, to Mexico, to all these different places, and he wants to bring it back to America. And Canada is one of the places that this manufacturing labor has been exported to. And the tariffs are meant to make our exports look more expensive so that it incentivizes American local manufacturing. And that's what he's doing. Okay? Is there a way out of this? Yes. It's going to take proper negotiation and possibly giving in to some of Trump's demands. We don't have negotiating leverage in this. I like Canada. I am Canadian. I want to continue to be Canadian. I think Canada is a great place to live, but we need to fix the problems we have. And if we don't, someone like Trump is going to eat us up. That's just the way of the world. It's been happening since Roman times. If you don't believe me, start studying on YouTube. Right after you finish this video, hit like and hit share. Okay? So that's the story. This is the major risk why you should not be buying Canadian real estate. Because at its worst, the threat is stagflation. And that is not good. Okay? That is not good at all. Let's hope we come out of this uh, as friends and neighbors with the US while cooperating and making money together. That is my wish. Talk soon.